So it's not just learning about from yourself in terms of your day-to-day lived experience and learning from others. There's that inner voice that knows more than you. We refer to that as your subconscious mind. And we would say your subconscious mind knows everything. It knows everything. If you want to wake up at a set time, it wakes you up. If your heart needs to beat, it makes your heart beat. Yes? So there is an intelligent design aspect of yourself that knows exactly where you're supposed to be. When you are out of alignment, you cannot be fully content. And when you're in alignment, this might, shift things a little bit. Because you are looking at the African diaspora, fine. But what if you weren't meant to leave home? What if you were meant to remain in your homeland? And that's where you were supposed to be making your difference. It doesn't have to be so. Because how I approach life purpose is not about a job. Life purpose for me is about what is that signature identity that you've been given to fulfill a particular purpose on the earth. So, for example, when a car is made, we know the purpose. It is to transport people from one place to another. When some other thing is made, we know the purpose. It is to hold food. It is to satisfy hunger, whatever it might be. Everything has a purpose. Individuals have a purpose too. The Bible says, one, we were made for God's pleasure and to fulfill his purpose. So there's an aspect of himself that's been downloaded into us that we're then supposed to be using to contribute to the world. Okay? So that might be that your purpose is to be a teacher. What kind of teacher? And how do you want to teach? Do you want to teach through music? Do you want to teach through art, dance, writing, literature? Do you want to be a classroom teacher? Do you want to be a spiritual teacher? Do you want to be a mentor who teaches others how to navigate some aspect of what? Business development, self-understanding, personal development, whatever. Do you want to be at tertiary level, further education, higher education, tutor, lecturer? What kind of teacher do you want to be? Do you want to be a teacher within the governmental sector? Yes, you can be the point is your purpose is to teach, but to teach for what? There's a gentleman I follow and I listen to, his name is John Paul Jackson. And he talks about his business is called Purpose Point. I think it's called Purpose Point. Forgive me if I've forgotten. But for example, when he talks about his purpose, he says, my purpose is to, what is it again? Hold on, let me remember carefully. It's something like to treat others with respect and help them to flourish, something of the sort. So even my point is, if you're a teacher, to what extent? Are you a teacher to bridge the gap between childhood and adulthood, where there might have been issues with emotional regulation, for example, and helping people with their emotional intelligence? Are you a teacher to to what end? For what particular group of people? To achieve what particular thing in the long run? And teaching is just one aspect. Are you here to be a reclaimer? For example, people who have gone through trauma have lost aspects of themselves that can be reclaimed. If you are one who is here on the earth to help others to reclaim something that was lost, what kind of reclaimer are you? Then you can look at the job aspect. How do I want to do that? Do I want to do that as a performer, an artist of sorts? Do I want to do that as an educator? Do I want to do that as a government official? Do I want to do that? You can pick the role. The purpose, for example, with John Jackson, is for others to flourish so that they may flourish. So whatever I'm doing, I identify the purpose, and then there is the mission part of it so that they will flourish. Or, for example, what you then work out. What area do I want to use to fulfill my purpose? Okay. So, for example, I might say my purpose is to influence others for good. Let's just pick that one. I'm here on the earth to influence others for good. Do I want to do that through a podcast? Do I want to do that as an activist? Do I want to do that as an advocate? Do I want to do that as a judge? Do I want to do that as an educator? Do I want to do that as a musician, an author, a songwriter, a performer, an actor? How do I want to influence others for good? The idea is to find the purpose, teacher, reclaimer, influencer for good, whatever. Find the purpose, then explore what are the ways that would light you up to get that purpose manifested, fulfilled in the earth, meeting the needs of others that it should. And then you'll have that satisfaction that life brings.
All right. That is powerful. I think that is the whole essence of the conversation. But what you see now is that many people do not have that as their compass, and that is what I also sometimes refer to it. No, that okay, if we don't want to use compass, we can say GPS. That you have something that is routing you to your direction because you are not just going anywhere; you are going somewhere. Now, if you were going to London and you are in Manchester, you don't just take any train. You want to take the train that is going specifically to London. Because if you take a train that is going to another direction, you are going to end up in another place.
Yeah.
So I think if we have life, at least for people of the African diaspora who are listening to us, it is particularly important for us, for you, that you know why you are here because you travel several hundreds of kilometers away from your home to be here. There must be a reason for that. So it's not just a waste of time. Now, Annecha, how should people find this purpose? Because it means a lot. Because I'm saying that because if you can find your purpose, you are both more useful to yourself and also to the society where you live in.
Yeah.
Help me with that.
Yes. That internal GPS is that small voice that we crowd out. We don't have time for it because life is busy, we're doing family, we're doing work, etc. But maybe this is where, for example, a program that I offer can be helpful. I have a 6-part program that is basically unlocking your life purpose. Within those 6 sessions, we clarify things around your identity. We explore and clarify things around your purpose. And we look at who it is that you're here to serve, because what's placed inside you is not for you. There is no tree on the outside that bears the fruit, and then the tree turns around and eat that fruit. What's inside you is not for you. It is for someone else. And that's how the master designer has crafted life, so that we will always be interdependent. We will always be needing each other. It designed life in such a way that we should not have a problem with inclusion. We should not have a problem with belonging, because we are designed with something inside us that's the answer for someone else. And they are designed in such a way that they are the answer for something in me, for example. So, okay, the diaspora is here in another land, in another place. The land, the place is hardly the point. It is what's inside you that you bring. So unlock that. And you're thinking, but Anecha, how will people discern that? It takes intentional focus on the inside to unlock that. It does. And most times when you find out what that is, yes, you may end up working in an organization for someone else, which would be perfect if you can find a place that aligns with your own values and you're content and happy there. But it takes a lot of people into doing their own thing as well, launching their own businesses, focused on their own projects, that kind of thing. The GPS is inside you. If you did not learn from childhood how to trust yourself, how to understand what your inner voice is saying to you, then you're going to have to intentionally go and learn